Okay, so what does it say? The sum of three rational numbers in geometric progression equals 13/15. So I'm going to write that down, and I'm going to say AR plus AR squared is 13/15. The next thing says the sum of their reciprocals. That's 1 over A plus 1 over AR plus 1 over AR squared equals 65 thirds. All right, that's what they said. What they want me to do is find the numbers. So I'm looking for this, I'm looking for this, and I'm looking for that. And I want to see if I can do it. All right? So someone says it's really tough to do. It may be, but I'm kind of looking at it, and the first thing I want to do is, I'm looking at what I wonder. I want to get rid of the fraction here. Now, someone said I want to get the other rid of the numbers aren't bothering me. It's those letters in the bottom that bother me. So what would the LCD be? I'd multiply both sides of this thing by AR squared. All right, what would you get? Well, if you did that, you would get R squared plus R plus 1 equals 65 thirds times AR squared. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make an erasure. I'm kind of done with this one here. I kind of like the way that other one looks, by the way. But I'm seeing it as some relationship to the first one. And the way I'm going to see that is I'm going to factor out an A from the first one. What is that going to give you? 1 plus R plus R squared is equal to 13/15. All right? So let me write this down now. So someone says, what do you know now? I know this is that. They're all the same thing. So I'll write that down. What do you got? I got, let's write this down. Be really careful about it. A times 65 over 3 AR squared is equal to 13/15. Well, I got to simplify that. And what do you get? You're going to get A squared R squared is equal to 13/15 times 3 over 65. Well, this is simplified. Not simplified yet, but I'm going to simplify it. 3 goes into 3 once, goes into 15 5 times. 13 goes into 13 once, it goes into 65 5 times. So I found something. I'm not sure it's going to help me, but it sure is compact. All right, sure is compact. So what did I get? I got A squared R squared equals 1/25th, which really means AR is equal to plus or minus 1/5. All right? I want to go to the key for a second, and I want to outline that this stuff is written down for you. So, I'm pretty sure that you can agree that I did write this down. I'm going to start to erase my highlighting later. I got this. I know I erased this one over here, but I wrote an equivalent one down over here. And that's written over here. That's R squared plus R plus 1 equals 65 thirds AR squared. And then I went through a bunch of work, and I eventually got to this stage over here. All right? So I'm going to erase things, but as I erase things, I want to say I'm not done yet. I know AR is plus or minus 1/5. I have one of the terms. I'm going to erase all my highlighting. I'm pretty comfortable that what we've done, we've got this section done. Let me erase this over here. And now it's time to start. Again, I wanted 3 numbers. And let me just remind the 3 numbers again. The 3 numbers are going to be A, AR, and AR squared. Those are the 3 numbers, all right? So I'm looking at it, and I'm wondering, what could you do? I got A times R is plus or minus 1/5, and I want to, let's see what happens. I'll have to pick one of these guys. And for the sake of argument, I'm going to try to get this one in terms of r. Let's see if I can do it. And someone says, why do you want the r's? I see the r's on one side, but the other side has an a in it. So I'm going to write this down, 65 thirds times, well, I got troubles here, don't I? I got the r squared. But then the question is, what's the a? So I want to remind you that AR equals plus or minus 1/5. Now, by the way I like to play the game is I just want to do one at a time. All right? So the question is which one you want to do? Well, I got to get A, right? So A is plus or minus 1/5R. All right? So what I want to do over here is I want to take an A to be 1/5R first. After I'm done with that, I'm going to do the other one. I'm going to get my eraser out. First of all, let me take a look at it, make sure I got this right. AR plus or minus 1/5. A equals plus or minus 1/5. Yeah, looks pretty good. Again, we're going to do the other one later. Let me write that down for you. The other one is going to be where A is equal to 1/5R, but the opposite. Let's plug this in, see what we get. This can be 1/5R. We're doing this one now. Let's keep going. Equals R squared plus R plus 1. Let's see what we get here. I gotta be careful. 5 goes into 5 once, goes into 13 times. R goes into R once, it goes into R squared R times. So you can get 13R, let's be careful, over 3 equals R squared plus R plus 1. Well, I'm going to multiply both sides by 3. You get 13R equals 3R squared plus 3R plus 1. So I'm going to get 0 equals 3R squared minus 10R plus 1. And let's see if we can do this one over here. 0 equals, I got to factor that, don't I? Well, I'm going to say trial and error is going to work on this one. And I'm going to say, let's see, 3R squared. Oh, I'm sorry. I made a mistake here. I forgot to multiply this by 3. Otherwise, this wouldn't factor into a rational number. And I'm hoping to get a rational number. That's a 1. That's a 1. This is a 3. Sorry about that. And I got this now. So it's going to be 3 here minus, let's just see if it works. You get 3R squared. Minus 9 minus 1 is minus 10. And you get plus 3. So R is a rational number. I'm expecting that. It would be 1/3 or R equals 3. All right, I want to go to the key for a moment and just outline that to you over here. I'm seeing that. Right, I'm seeing that. Now, by the way, that was me just doing the first one. I got to do the other one too. There's going to be more R's heading my way. And I'm going to erase. That's done. That's our pass. We know what the R's are now. We can get the A's later, by the way. Right, this guy's done. We did that already. Now let's do the minus 1/5R. All right? Now, granted, you got experience with this. So let's write this down. 65 thirds times R squared times minus 1/5R equals R squared plus R plus 1. Well, it's really the same story. We're going to reduce 13, and you can get R here. So you can get 13R over 3, but minus. Then you get R squared plus R plus 1. I'm going to do the same exact thing I did before, multiply by 3, minus 13R equals 3R squared. I'm not going to make the same mistake twice, by the way. I'm multiplying by 3. Let's not forget that. Every term is multiplied by 3. Then what do you get? 0 equals 3r squared plus 16r plus 3. Well, I'll be honest with you, no matter what I do, I will not be able to factor that using my fingers. But I want to point down, if you weren't really thinking too much about this thing, you'd write down r equals, let's write this down, it'll complicate it. So twice the a, 6, the opposite of the b, that's coefficient on the r, by the way, minus 16, plus or minus, let's be real careful. Then what do you get? Well, let's see, the b squared, so 16 squared minus 4 times 3 times 3. All right, one thing I noticed about this over here, this r is irrational. Now what I mean by that, 16 squared minus 4 times 3 times 3, maybe I should go through that. 16 squared, that's going to be 160, 10 times 16. 6 times 10 is 60, and 6 times 6 is 36. You're going to get 6, 256. 256, well, minus 36. What does that give you? 0, 2, 220. So the number inside here, I'll erase it for you now, is 220. That is not a perfect square. So r is irrational. It cannot be written as a ratio of integers. So this one has to be thrown out. So these are the only two choices I have. All right? So let's remind you what I have now. I only know r is 3 or 1/3. All right, now let's remind you about this over here. Remember, this guy did not work out. What else do I know? I know AR equals 1/5 now. Now comes the trouble. I write the sequence of numbers down. What is it going to be? AR squared. All right? I definitely know AR. It's 1/5. Now let's say the R is 3. What would this one be? 3/5. All right? Let's go over here. It would be 1/15. That's if the R is 3. Let's say the R is 1/3. Let's write this down. The middle term is going to be that. What do you get down? 1/15. What do you get over here? 3/5. All right? Again, if you multiply by 1/3, 1/3 times 3/5 is 1/5. 1/3 times 1/5 is 1/15. Let's see what the question was. The sum of three rational numbers, blah, 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 blah. Find the numbers. We found the numbers, right? What are the numbers? These are the numbers. So the numbers are as follows: 1/15, 1/5, and 3/5. All right? 1/15, 1/5, and 3/5. That's it. By the way, both of these are the same set of numbers. Thank you.